Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Time for game number 3 here between Queen and BarrackS. So far I'm very much enjoying this little 3-game series from the ladder and, tied up 1-1. Perfect time to finish this up. BarrackS definitely showed us great fundamentals in the first game, and then Queen showed what he can do if he can make it up to Hive. That was honestly pretty scary because it felt like BarrackS was playing very, very well. Maybe a couple very small mistakes, but Queen just kind of pouncing upon those. And yeah, it's that's kind of the tricky thing, I guess, about playing SK Terran against late game Zerg at the moment is you need that little bit of extra. If you are playing like a very, very strong and nearly flawless early game like we saw from BarrackS in game number 1, then you're going to pick up most of your wins in that phase of the game. And I mean, you can pick up a lot of wins like that, right? You can keep a pretty decent win rate against Zerg, but the late game really has become Zerg dominant. So I'm very kind of excited to see how that goes forward. Like, what is it just going to be like little tricks or heavy multitasking or something that changes the way that Terrans are trying to deal with the late game Zerg? I hope that we get there once again. Here it's cross spawn with an overpool from Queen, and in a way this makes sense. This is his 3rd game in a row against BarrackS. Wouldn't be too surprised to see some sort of like 8-racks play or center BarrackS play. It's the latter, so maybe a little bit less likely. But I would just say in the case of BarrackS here, who, by the way, did go 8-racks, so it's a good guess. I wouldn't expect him to do like a crazy all-in on the ladder because BarrackS is highly motivated, very hardworking Terran player. So yeah, I don't think he'd waste time doing like all-ins on ladder very much. The one thing for Queen here is this is a cross spawn 8-racks, so the odds of this doing damage are less, but there are tricks you can utilize in cross spawn. Now, if this Overlord sees the second SCV coming down, it's huge. Yeah, but his SCV saw this, so he shouldn't. So he sees 2 lings running out. Okay, he sees 4 lings running out. Now, the best thing you can do, well, there's a couple things you can do. It looks like what he's going to choose is sneaking around. So he'll have 3 Marines that sneak around, and then he should bring SCVs down here, probably 2. Yeah, and block this up. Okay, so what you do is you tell the SCV to exit, you hit stop right there, well, I guess what he's going to do here is slide them down like a trapdoor. And then these 3 are walking out to the side. But Queen didn't go all the way. So Queen pulls these back, and he should be fine. At cross spawn, basically if you go 8-racks... Oh, excuse me, hold on. Well, that was no good for Queen. But, good snipe. And those SCVs should go back. So if you go 8-racks in their cross spawn, the odds of rallying into any sort of damage are very, 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 very low. Because basically the travel distance, like everything is worked out really well with an 8-racks in front of your natural, where you're basically aware, you're not going to get 3 Marines down there in time to really threaten heavy damage. So the 2 different ways you can do it is to either sneak around like that and wait for your opponent. Ooh, wow. And wait for your opponent to, run his lings elsewhere and then run in and try to get some damage. Or you can just build up Marines and send them and go with like 5 Marines against like the 4 that they made. That type of move. So I thought he was going to do the first or the second one. He did the first one. And look, he's trying something similar to that again, just kind of running around Queen at the moment. Only 2 lings here. So, like, moves like this are really good. And you'd think that it wouldn't be because he already went pool first and everything. But after you go pool first, you're really looking to make as many drones as possible. Got a little Marine freeze there. If you target with a Marine at full range, it will freeze. You got to hold position to get it out. Same thing that happens with Dragoons when you see them freeze. Happens all the time with Marines. See? Okay, so very good micro there overall from BarrackS. Holy crap, that was really good micro. Obviously, they're all going to fall. But he's trying to get that additional bit of damage. He's causing a lot of lost mine time. He's forcing a few more lings and or lings to go back home. So good stuff overall there from BarrackS. Academy is on the way. It is a very late Academy, but he put decent pressure on with the Marines. So, you know, he kind of slowed Queen down a little bit as well. Now, he's going to have to go blind missile turrets. His Marines only made it down to about here, so he didn't technically see the Spire, but you know it's Spire. Pretty much. I guess there's some tiny chance there could have been a Hydralisk Den down here, in which case he'd probably just die. But the engineering bay has been started, so it seems like BarrackS is hitting everything as he needs to. And yeah, I think the game will proceed pretty normally from here. Both of them are a little bit stunted from the openers, but I would say similar in the value of the stunt, if that makes sense there. Where it's like, yeah, I wouldn't strongly give an advantage to either player. Now, the turrets should be starting any second here. This is a pretty healthy, good little amount. Oh, gosh, that was actually really good micro on both sides. Queen going up and kind of jumping upon that medic. We've seen this from Queen lately. Queen's pretty sharp right now. Queen's pretty sharp right now. I feel like he has been for the last, like, 6 months or so. I feel like Queen's been in actually very good shape. But yeah, he's really looking for those little moments where he can get a little bit of damage. Now, he actually comes in with 4 mutas, which will double shot SCVs. And he's actually doing okay with that. This is actually pretty impressive. Pretty good damage. If you take a look, it's 20 drones against 27 SCVs. This is actually pretty good for Queen. And if you look at what BarrackS is doing, this is kind of him with a nod towards he's behind, adding these additional barracks right now. His factory is going to be so incredibly late. He's basically going all in with Marines and medics at this point. And the amount of damage that these mutas have gotten is insane. And this one's stuck. You can actually make a gas to pop it off and then cancel. But that'll cost 25 minerals to do, which is annoying. Yeah, the Queen at this point has definitely pulled ahead. So I want to put this into perspective. There's like different timestamps. Now, when you open with an ARAX, everything gets pushed back a little bit because you're trying to do damage. But you didn't get really good damage with it or anything. But like you could push back the factory to like 7 minutes, 20 seconds, something like that with an 8-racks and still feel pretty okay with it. He has 2 SCVs stuck there because of these missile turrets as well. Jesus, this is the worst. It's getting real bad. So, like, you can actually take 3 SCVs off the top, plus you can take 3 patches away. Absolutely terrible. But yeah, okay, so as far as timestamps go, you really want your factory starting between 6 minutes and 6 minutes, 30 seconds, 7 minutes at the very latest. Okay, so we can see that he's way beyond that now. Also, by the time the mutas are hitting, you want like a minimum of about 32 SCVs. And you can see that he's just not at those numbers. So he doesn't actually have the income to consistently produce out of everything. Right now, he's basically just making Marines, and Queen is kind of pulling him apart here. Look at the amount of Marines that are being killed off. This is like getting to be super, super one-sided at the moment. Muta's pulling back. Full group here. Queen has a 3rd base there. 2 creep colonies ready to become sunken. God, he's just in complete control of this game. The Marine count is still okay. He's got range and +1, so that's some good stuff. Fixing this missile turret placement. But only 20 SCVs. 19 now. Oh my God. Muta's come back in for even more damage. Delays both of these missile turrets. Doesn't seem very likely that BarrackS is going to be able to find a way back into this. Excellent, consistent harassment coming out. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a tough position. I'm going to talk about this a little bit, I guess, because this is looking like there's no way back at this point. Like, he's down to 19 SCVs against 30 drones. He would have to, like, hit an attack before Lurker, and I can't see mathematically. Like, even if he produces nonstop, like, Queen just slowing it down at all is basically winning this game, because it's going to make it so his Lurkers are ready in time, and that's basically all that's left. Yeah, he's just reducing the Marine medic count so significantly. Like, the group of Marines and medics that exist now can't even get through the Sunkens that he's going to be able to make. Okay, so he just GG's. Okay, so just a couple of things here, okay? So let's jump back a little bit, actually closer to 6 minutes up here. So the last time that the game was okay was right around here. Okay, well, a few more seconds, right? So this is going to be finishing up. The timing on the barracks was pretty good. See how it's finishing close to 6 minutes, and we have the mutas popping. So, like, basically, it's like you have to start the turrets now. This is a little bit late. As I said, everything gets pushed back a bit when you go for an 8-racks opener because, you know, that's the beginning of the game. Your expansion's a bit later, your SV count's a bit lower, and you're doing things like forcing them to make lings and making them lose mining time and make less drones and things like that, right? So that kind of, like, equalizes that a bit. But, like, his timing here is just slightly off. So let's just take a look. Because right here, it looks okay. But it's tough because what the build went into, it went from 8 barracks, not into +1, but rather into a 2 barracks academy build. And that has to do with the fact that he ran 3 Marines down around this way and then 3 more Marines around this way. Okay, so you can put those things together. It's like, yeah, you can't really keep that going with a 1-racks engineering bay build. Instead, you go 2-racks academy. Very normal decisions. And when you're going 2-racks academy, you have to threaten counterattack. But this is cross spawn, so it's really hard to threaten that as well in these positions. Okay, so just speed it up a little bit. So he's floating this back. Okay, he's got this group that he can kind of go forward with. Here come the mutas. The turrets got started pretty darn late. And right here, he's at 31. So, like, if he gets these turrets up and kind of forces the mutas back and he's sitting at 31, pretty happy with the position. But look up here, okay? This, I think, was the weirdest choice that we saw, was this 4th racks coming up. I don't quite understand why he wanted to do this. Like, his economy is not great at 31. You know, it's like he just... It's clear that he doesn't want to go against Hive. But if he doesn't do this and he just kind of focuses on getting missile turrets up a little bit better, then, you know, first off, the missile turrets would be in time. Like, if he had started them right after this finished... Yeah, he's going to have some missile turrets up, but his timing was a little bit off, and he started this first. So, I don't know. Maybe that last game was too painful for BarrackS, and he's like, well, I got to put more pressure on early, so I'm going to go for 4 BarrackS here. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.